This is not a medical book. It is a work of ancient wisdom, observation, and inner balance. Long before modern systems tried to separate body and mind, ancient Eastern traditions understood something profound. The body listens, remembers, and responds to how we live. It is said that within the quiet mountains of ancient China, knowledge was preserved not on paper, but through awareness, rhythm, and lived experience. What you are about to hear is not a guide to fixing what is broken. It is an invitation to understand balance, to recognize the subtle language of the body, and to reconnect with natural cycles that bring clarity, calm, and inner alignment. This audiobook is meant to be experienced slowly, not analyzed, not rushed. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, let the noise fade, and allow this ancient wisdom to gently guide your attention inward. The hidden book of Chinese medicine, the ancestral codex of natural healing. Introduction: the library that listens to the body. They say that somewhere deep within the heart of a silent mountain in ancient Asia, there exists a sacred library that holds no ordinary books. Its manuscripts are not made of paper, but of energy. Each one pulses with a rhythm of its own, as if it had a living heart. Vibrating in silence, waiting for the exact moment to awaken in the hands of someone ready to remember a truth long buried in the body itself. This is one of those books. It was not written with ink, but with ancient wisdom passed down by healers, monks, and invisible masters. A hidden codex, veiled by time, carrying the secrets of a medicine that sees the human being as a whole: body, mind, emotion, spirit, and nature. If this book has reached you, it is not by chance. This is an invitation to quiet the outside noise, to listen to the whispers of your own body, and to feel the flow of life where there once was only exhaustion, pain, or confusion. Here, every word is a healing touch, every chapter a portal inward. Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Let your vital energy, your qi, gently awaken. Because this is not a book to read. This is a book to feel. Chapter 1. The body as a temple of the elements. Imagine for a moment that your body is not just a structure of flesh, bones, and blood, but a living temple crafted by the very elements of nature. A sacred sanctuary where 5 guardians reside, your vital organs, each one connected to a primordial force older than time itself. This is the vision of Chinese medicine, the body as a complete universe, where nothing stands alone and every part communicates silently with the whole. The heart holds the fire, the liver embodies wood, the kidneys contain water, the lungs dance with metal, and the spleen rests upon the earth. These elements are not just found in nature around you, they live inside you. Western medicine often sees the body as a machine, with each part performing a specific task. But Chinese medicine sees the body as a dance, an intelligent organic system where every organ is moved by energy, emotion, and spirit. Nothing is separate. Nothing is random. When you feel anger, your liver knows. When you're joyful, your heart smiles. When you're afraid, your kidneys tremble. When you're grieving, your lungs collapse. When you're worried, your spleen grows heavy. It's as if the body is an ancient scroll, where every sensation, every ache, every wave of heat or chill is a message from your inner masters. These masters, the 5 elements, don't speak in words, but in symptoms. Unexplained fatigue, back pain, chest tightness, persistent insomnia. Each one may be your body's way of saying something is out of flow. In Chinese medicine, true health is flow. Vital energy, called qi, must circulate freely through the body's meridians, invisible rivers of light that connect your entire being. When qi flows, you feel alive, strong, peaceful, present. When qi stagnates, imbalances begin to surface, physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual. And the most fascinating part, Pain almost always exists in the energetic body before it appears in the physical body. The body always speaks, it always warns us. But we've become so disconnected from it, we only listen when it screams. That's why this ancient medicine teaches us to listen to the whispers. It observes the color of your tongue, the quality of your pulse, the brightness in your eyes, the strength of your voice. It reads your body like an oracle, where every detail is a clue about what's in excess or in deficiency within you. Did you know that just by looking at your tongue, a skilled healer can read the state of your spleen, liver, or stomach? That craving sweets could mean your earth element is longing for comfort, or that thirst at night might mean your heart's fire is out of balance. Everything has meaning, everything has a root. Each element also governs a season. Wood blooms in spring, fire blazes in summer, earth nourishes the center of the year, metal rains in autumn, water flows deep in winter. When you live out of sync with these rhythms, staying up too late in summer, eating cold foods in winter, overworking in fall, your body feels it, because your body is nature. According to this wisdom, we do not get sick by chance. We get sick when we stop listening, when we ignore our cycles, our emotions, our needs. But here's the miracle: the body is generous. It regenerates, it adapts, it realigns. All it needs is the right conditions to return to flow. And that flow begins when you change the way you see. When you begin to see your body as a sacred temple, everything shifts. Food becomes an offering, sleep becomes a ritual, breath becomes a prayer, touch becomes healing, and emotions, they're no longer problems, they become messages. You no longer need to fight your body. You can dance with it, learn from it, reconcile with it. That's why this book begins here. Before we speak of symptoms, herbs, or practices, we must first honor the body as a divine place. It is not your enemy. It is your most loyal ally, your first teacher, your first home. The body is fire, earth, water, metal, and wood. But above all, the body is you. And if you're hearing these words now, perhaps it's because your body is finally ready to teach you everything you once forgot. Take a deep breath, feel, and let the elements awaken within you. Chapter 2, The Heart and the Fire Element, the Flame of Consciousness. In Chinese medicine, the heart is not merely a pump that circulates blood. It is the throne of the spirit, the center of consciousness, the sacred temple where the flame of life resides. Governed by the element of fire, the heart embodies the energy of summer, laughter, joy, and warmth that radiates and connects. But like any flame, it can either illuminate or burn. It can gently warm or silently ignite into imbalance. The heart is the home of the Shen, the spirit, and when the Shen is at peace, the eyes sparkle, sleep is deep, the mind is clear, and a person lives with presence. But when that flame is stirred by overstimulation, suppressed emotions, or energetic depletion, the Shen becomes unsettled and invisible symptoms begin to appear. Insomnia, anxiety, restlessness, rapid heartbeat, forgetfulness, a sense of emptiness. The fire of the heart is not something to fear. It is essential. It brings warmth to relationships, brightness to the voice, enthusiasm for life. But it needs containment, balance, and reverence. In Chinese medicine, this fire even reveals itself on the tongue, which is considered the flower of the heart. A tongue that's too red may indicate excessive heat. A pale or colorless tongue suggests a tired heart, a fading flame. The rhythm of the heartbeat is observed like a poem. It reveals whether energy is flowing in harmony or whether the pulse of the spirit is disrupted. And if the heart holds the fire, who guards it from being burned? This is the role of an invisible organ rarely acknowledged in the West, the pericardium, the protective membrane surrounding the heart. In Chinese medicine, it is known as the guardian of the throne, the energetic wall that shields the emperor. When you suffer a deep heartbreak or soul-wounding grief, it's the pericardium that takes the hit first. It shields the shen, keeping the spirit from shattering. But over time, those layers of protection can harden, creating emotional blocks, fear of intimacy, and difficulty loving again. The heart governs emotional connection. Not just romantic love, but the ability to connect with others with authenticity and joy. When the heart's fire is balanced, a person tends to be warm, charismatic, loving, and light-hearted. But when unbalanced, the fire may become impulsive, dramatic, or on the other end, dim, numb, and indifferent. Fire also rules sleep. And when the shen cannot rest, the body doesn't sleep. The mind remains lit, jumping between thoughts like a flame that won't go out. This is why many cases of insomnia have no clear physical cause. They are rooted in energy and emotion. In summer, the season of the heart, fire is naturally more present in the environment. It's a time to open up, socialize, laugh, and shine. But it's also a season of caution. Too much heat, short nights, inflammatory foods, explosive emotions. The heart needs warmth, but it also needs shade. It needs laughter, but it also needs stillness. The secret is to dance between brilliance and pause. To care for the heart, according to this ancient wisdom, requires more than medicine. It requires the cultivation of sacred warmth, the kind that rises from a soul at peace. This begins with simple rituals, smiling from the chest, not just the lips. Going to bed early, pausing to admire the beauty in small things, practicing silence, listening to your own breath, nurturing relationships that soothe, not ignite. Even in diet, the heart asks for allies. Red foods, slightly bitter or cooling in nature, are its best companions during summer. There are also energetic practices like heart qigong, with gentle movements that circulate qi through the chest, dissolve emotional blockages, and strengthen the shen. Acupuncture, meridian massage for the heart and pericardium, herbal baths, calming teas, and even a conscious hand placed gently over your own chest. These are powerful ways to awaken the heart's fire with balance and grace. Fire is the only element that illuminates without shape. It cannot be held. It rises. It dances. It transforms. And within you, the fire of your heart carries that same sacred power, the power to awaken consciousness, the power to reveal who you truly are, the power to remind you that you are alive. So now close your eyes for a moment. Place one hand gently at the center of your chest and simply feel the warmth pulsing behind your sternum. Feel the life, feel your shen, your spirit, and remember, as long as this flame is still burning, there is a path, there is healing, there is a return to everything that was always inside you. Chapter 3, the liver and the wood element, the root of transformation. If the heart is the flame that shines, then the liver is the root that holds it all together. In Chinese medicine, the liver is the embodiment of the wood element, symbol of growth, renewal, and the strength that rises even after the deepest winter. The liver is the guardian of direction, the one who dreams, plans, and takes action. It is the general of the body, the commander that organizes the army of qi and sends its troops with precision. But when wood is suppressed, when the tree is pruned too harshly or forced to grow twisted, the energy becomes stagnant. And from that stagnation, anger is born. Anger in Chinese medicine is not simply a bad emotion. It is stuck energy. It's movement that wanted to happen but was blocked. When you silence what needs to be said, when you swallow what should have come out, when you freeze before a change your soul begged for, it is your liver that suffers. And the liver doesn't scream, it tightens, it congests, it swells, it becomes toxic. That's why imbalances in the liver often show up as headaches, neck tension, PMS, irritated eyes, poor digestion, brittle nails, and emotional outbursts that seem to come out of nowhere. The wood within you needs to grow. It needs movement, expansion, vision. People with strong liver energy tend to be determined, organized, creative. They see the big picture and know how to bring it to life. But when that energy compresses, the body becomes rigid. The inner vision clouds, frustration builds, decisions feel paralyzing. The same cycles repeat endlessly. The liver also stores blood and releases it according to the body's needs, especially during sleep. At night, it works the hardest. That's why sleeping late directly weakens its energetic function. The liver is not just the master of physical detox, it also tries to cleanse the soul of resentment. And if the resentment piles up, the internal fire rises and the wood begins to crack from within. Spring is the season of wood. It's the time of new beginnings, of breaking through what has been stuck, of courage to renew. That's why so many natural liver treatments are done in spring. Green foods, sprouts, bitter and sour tastes, stretching practices and deep breathing. These are your allies to help the qi flow freely and allow the liver to do its job with ease. The eyes also belong to the liver, not just physical vision, but inner vision. When liver energy is flowing, you can see beyond the chaos. You plan clearly. You recognize life's signs. But when blocked, you feel lost, without direction, blind to yourself. To heal the liver, it's not enough to just drink tea or change your diet. You have to move on the inside. You have to create space for the new, release the old, forgive, let go of excessive control, and trust your own path. Practices like twisting exercises, mindful walks, therapeutic journaling, breathwork that releases anger, and loving heart-to-heart conversations, these all help unlock the wood within. Not because anger is wrong, but because it holds a message. Something inside you wants to grow, and it's being held back. So now bring your awareness to the upper right side of your abdomen, where your liver resides. Take a deep breath. Imagine a tree growing inside of you. It breaks through the soil, reaching toward the sky. Its branches stretch wide, its leaves shimmer green, its roots dig deep and steady. That is your inner wood. It wants to grow. It wants to move. It wants to break free. Remember, your liver doesn't want you to suppress. It wants you to transform, to channel, to use your anger as fuel, not as a cage. And when that happens, you start walking again. You begin to see again. You return to life. Chapter 4, the kidneys and the water element, the source of fear and courage. Imagine a dark, silent cave. Inside it, hidden from time, light and noise, rests a sacred spring, a water that does not rush. It rests. It does not reveal itself. It protects. That water is your essence. And in Chinese medicine, it lives within the kidneys. The kidneys are the temple of the water element, the most ancient, most silent, and most profound of all 5 elements. They do not shout like the heart. They do not erupt like the liver. They whisper. And when they whisper, it's because your soul is asking you to pause and listen. The kidneys are the guardians of Jing, the vital essence you were born with. This is not an energy you create day by day. It is inherited, passed on from your parents before birth, a spark of genetic and spiritual life that fuels your entire existence. When your Jing is strong, you feel grounded, full of life, stable and whole. When it weakens, you feel chronic fatigue, premature aging, irrational fear, infertility, bone fragility, hair loss, and a strange disconnection from yourself. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys are the seat of fear, not the logical kind, but the primal fear, the instinct that freezes you or makes you run. When your kidneys are in harmony, fear transforms into quiet courage. Water flows with flexibility. You face life with depth and grace. But when this flow is blocked, fear becomes panic, anxiety, and dread. The heart may race, but it is the kidney that screams inside. A lack of courage is not the absence of strength. It's the accumulation of frozen fear stored in the kidneys. The kidneys also govern sexuality and reproduction, but not only in the physical sense. The Jing stored in the kidneys is the source of life, the energy that allows you to create, nourish, and sustain not only children, but dreams, art, love, and purpose. When this area is out of balance, you may feel not only hormonal or physical issues, but also a lack of creative flow, emotional dullness, and disconnection from your life's direction. The kidneys are reflected in your ears and bones. Energetic deafness, ringing in the ears, knee pain, lower back weakness. These are signs of imbalance in your inner water. The kidneys also govern your fear of the future, your attachment to the past, and your difficulty in letting go. Like water, they want to flow. But often, emotional dams built from trauma, pressure, and stress block this natural current. Winter is the season of the kidneys. It's the time for rest, warm foods, silence, and deep sleep. But we live in a world that ignores winter. We are expected to smile, produce, hustle, and push, even when the soul begs for stillness. And it's in this betrayal of our natural rhythm that the kidneys begin to suffer, quietly, gradually, until they dry up like a forgotten spring. Caring for your kidneys is an act of ancestral love, and it doesn't require anything extravagant. Just warm your feet, sleep early, eat nourishing soups, drink dark herbal teas, honor your fatigue. Don't suppress your fears, make time for silence. Massage your lower back, use hot water bottles, take salt baths, practice kidney qigong or grounding meditations. These are not small things. They are sacred rituals that feed your inner spring and restore your Jing. You can even speak to your kidneys. Yes, speak. Lie down. Place your hands gently over your lower back. Breathe deeply and say, "I know you're tired. I hear you. I will take better care of you from now on." And they will hear you. They always do. Now bring your awareness to your lower back. Imagine a spring of crystalline water protected by stones, wrapped in moss and soft, wet leaves. This is the water of your essence. It does not want to run. It wants to nourish. It wants to hold you. It only asks to be respected, to be heard, to be honored. Because as long as there is water in your kidneys, there is still time. There is still life. There is still strength to begin again. Chapter 5. The lungs and the metal element, the breath of sadness and purity. The lungs are the first to touch life. Even before a newborn opens its eyes, it inhales, and in that moment, the spirit enters the body like a silent breeze. In Chinese medicine, the lungs are known as the messengers between heaven and earth, the space where the invisible becomes matter. They belong to the metal element, the symbol of purity, spirituality, introspection, and inner worth. Metal is what's drawn from the earth after pressure, silence, and time. That's why this element represents the ability to find light within, even when the world feels dark. The lungs are associated with the emotion of sadness, but not as something negative. Sadness, according to the ancient masters, is the emotion that teaches us how to release, let go, and surrender. Like autumn leaves falling from the trees, the season ruled by the metal element, the lungs help us understand that certain things must die, so the soul can breathe again. When that sadness is repressed, ignored, or held too tightly, the lungs begin to suffer. Breathing becomes shallow. You feel tightness in your chest, fatigue after the smallest effort, weakened immunity, recurring colds, dry skin, a weak voice, and melancholy with no clear reason. Chinese medicine teaches that the lungs govern the qi, the vital energy, that enters through your breath and flows through your entire body. If the breath is shallow, the qi is weak. If the breath is anxious, the qi becomes restless. But if the breath is conscious, deep, and steady, the whole body rebalances itself. That's why breathing is a healing act, not just physically, but emotionally. It's a way of saying to your entire being, you're safe, you can relax, you can trust. Metal represents inner value, the ability to recognize what is essential and release what is not. When the lungs are in balance, a person becomes graceful, intuitive, sensitive, and serene. But when they're out of balance, excessive attachment shows up, a fear of letting go, emotional rigidity, intense self-criticism. It feels like there's a layer of smoke between your soul and the world. To breathe is to connect. To breathe is to allow. The lungs are also linked to the skin, considered the body's second breath. That's why many skin conditions, like rashes, psoriasis, or dryness, often reflect imbalances in the lung energy. The skin expresses what the lungs are silently holding. To care for this sacred system, Chinese wisdom suggests gentle rituals, aromatic baths, slow walks in nature, mindful breathing, pear tea with honey, white and slightly spicy foods like ginger and daikon radish. Everything that softens, releases, and makes space for the new. Sadness needs time, but it also needs movement. Just as autumn teaches us that nothing lasts forever, the lungs teach us that every sorrow will one day become wisdom. Now, close your eyes for a moment and simply feel your breath. Don't control it. Just observe. Air enters, air leaves, and with it, you release a thought, a worry, a memory you no longer need to carry. You don't have to understand everything. You don't need to fix everything. Sometimes you just need to breathe. Imagine that inside your chest, there is a soft white cloud. It moves slowly, like morning mist. This is your lung energy. It doesn't rush. It doesn't shout. It calms. It purifies. And right now it's whispering, let go. Breathe. Begin again. Chapter 6. The spleen and the earth element, the center of the body and emotions. At the center of the body lives a silent master. It doesn't beat like the heart. It doesn't breathe like the lungs. It doesn't command like the liver. It sustains. The spleen, in Chinese medicine, is the guardian of the inner earth, the one responsible for nourishing, transforming, and keeping everything in place. It represents balance, the gravitational center of both body and soul. If the body were a house, the spleen would be the invisible foundation that holds it all together, even when the world is collapsing outside. The earth element is connected to worry, overthinking, and mental rumination. You know that mind that never stops, that builds imaginary scenarios, anticipates pain, replays old wounds. That kind of hyperactive mind drains the spleen, and when it gets tired, the whole system weakens. Digestion slows down, bloating appears, focus disappears, and the body holds on to what it should release, physically and emotionally. Together with the stomach, the spleen transforms food into qi, the vital energy that sustains us. But this transformation is not just physical, it's emotional, it's energetic. When you constantly give of yourself to others, take care of everything, carry responsibilities that aren't yours, the spleen feels it. It's like a mother trying to feed everyone around her while forgetting to nourish herself. In Chinese medicine, the spleen also governs the muscles, your ability to stay firm, toned, and grounded. When this energy is imbalanced, you may experience flaccidity, chronic fatigue, heavy legs, fluid retention, loss of appetite, or an uncontrollable emotional hunger. The body loses its center, and when the body loses its center, the soul loses its ground. The season of the spleen is the late summer, the transition into autumn, a time of assimilation and change. The flavor associated with the earth element is natural sweetness, the kind that truly nourishes. Pumpkin, sweet potato, whole grains, ripe fruits, brown rice. But when this energy is out of balance, the body craves artificial sweets, an unconscious attempt to fill emotional emptiness. The spleen cries out for comfort, and we answer with sugar. Caring for the spleen is real self-care. It means saying no. It means pausing. It means eating with presence. It means digesting not just food, but life experiences. It means worrying less about others and remembering that you too need comfort. Your inner earth needs warmth, softness, safety, and that can't be bought. It must be cultivated. Massages on the abdomen, warm compresses, digestive teas, moist and warm foods, regular meal times, quality sleep and mental stillness. These are the most sacred remedies for the spleen, and above all, letting go of excessive worry. Chinese medicine teaches that to worry too much is like chewing endlessly without swallowing. The emotional food rots inside you. Now, place your hands on the center of your belly. Take a deep breath. Imagine that inside you there is soft, fertile soil. You are planting seeds of rest, care, and presence, and that earth holds you. It whispers, "You don't have to hold everything alone. I'm here. I am your center. And in this center, you can rest, you can trust, you can begin again." Chapter 7, The Path of Qi, the energy that flows and sustains life. Before there was form, there was flow. Before there was matter, there was movement. Before the body was born, Qi was already pulsing, the vital energy that permeates everything. In Chinese medicine, Qi is not just energy, it is life in motion. It is the invisible breath that animates every cell, every thought, every sensation. It is within you and all around you. It lives in the air you breathe, in the food you eat, in the touch you receive, in the emotion you feel. Everything is Qi, and everything depends on how it flows. Qi moves through invisible pathways called meridians, energetic channels that run through the body like sacred rivers. Each organ has its own meridian, connecting specific points of the skin, muscles, bones, and emotions. When Qi flows freely, you feel vitality, clarity, balance, and energy. But when it gets blocked, imbalances begin to show. Pain, inflammation, fatigue, anxiety, illnesses with no apparent cause. Qi can be blocked by repressed emotions, poor diet, sleep deprivation, chronic stress, or old traumas. And when it stagnates, the body cries out. Chinese medicine says, where there is pain, Qi is not flowing. Where Qi flows, there is no pain. This simple sentence holds deep wisdom. If there is tension, something needs to move. If there is repetition, something needs to be released. Qi is like the wind. It cannot be caged. It needs to dance between organs, between thoughts, between feelings. That's why practices like acupuncture, tai chi, qigong, conscious breathing, meditation, healing touch, and even the art of living with awareness are all considered energetic medicine. There are many types of Qi. The ancestral Qi, inherited from your parents. The Qi of the air, received through breath. The Qi of food, born from the earth. The Qi of heaven and earth, absorbed when you walk barefoot, bathe in sunlight, or contemplate nature. Every gesture, every word, every choice, everything shapes your field of energy. And the most magical truth is, you can learn to guide it. Qi also responds to emotion. Unprocessed emotions become blockages, but welcomed emotions become movement. Anger can become action, sadness can become surrender, fear can become protection, and love can become healing. Breathing is the first step to moving all of it. Breathing with awareness is like opening the floodgates of your inner river. It allows life to flow once more within you. You can feel your Qi right now. Close your eyes. Rub your hands together until they're warm. Then slowly bring your palms close, without touching. Feel the field vibrating between them. That subtle vibration is your Qi. That invisible heat is you in your purest form. and it responds to you. If you care for it, it will sustain you. If you ignore it, it dims, but it never disappears. Because Qi is patient. It only waits for you to return to your body, return to the present, return to your center. Now imagine your body as a river of living, clean, flowing energy. Each organ is a riverbank, each thought a stone, each emotion a bend in the stream. And you are the riverbed, the path, the permission. Let Qi flow, and wherever it flows, healing will bloom. Chapter 8. When emotion becomes symptom, the soul speaks through the body. There are pains that don't begin in the body. They are born in silence, in trauma, in wounds kept too long. They accumulate like clouds in a sky that has forgotten how to shine. And then, when you least expect it, they descend. They become tension in your shoulders. Gastritis, palpitations, allergies, fatigue, pains that tests cannot explain, symptoms that won't go away. And Chinese medicine, with its refined listening, doesn't just ask, where does it hurt? It asks, what didn't you say? What didn't you release? What is your body trying to show you? Because in ancestral wisdom, the body is the soul's final voice. When you didn't listen to the heart's whispers, the mind's warnings, the intuition's touch, the body screams, and it screams through symptoms that seem random at first glance, but are actually coded messages from a part of you that longs to be healed. Stored anger in the liver may become headaches, muscle tension, menstrual issues. Uncried sadness may turn into shortness of breath, chronic cough, dry skin. Rooted fear may affect the kidneys, bring insomnia, lower back pain, panic. Excess worry can weaken the spleen, causing bloating, fatigue, sluggish digestion. And uncontrolled euphoria can stir the heart, causing insomnia, irregular heartbeat, and an odd emptiness, even in moments of success. These emotions aren't villains, they're messengers, trying to show you where you've lost connection with yourself. When repressed, they don't disappear. They move inward, and the body, with its infinite wisdom, transforms everything you couldn't process into a physical language. Fever, pain, inflammation, nodules, heaviness. That's why healing in Chinese medicine is not just about removing the symptom, but understanding the story it's telling. Every pain has a reason, every illness a root. Every part of your body carries a deep emotional theme. Your knees represent your flexibility toward life. Your stomach, the ability to digest what happens. Your throat, the words you swallowed instead of speaking. Your spine, the burdens you agreed to carry alone. You can begin listening to your body right now. Close your eyes. Ask it, what are you trying to tell me? Maybe you'll feel an image, a memory, a tightness, a word. Trust. The body speaks. And when you truly listen, something magical happens. It softens. Because what hurts most about pain is being ignored. Healing isn't fast, but it is deep. And it begins when you stop fighting the symptom and begin to welcome it as a teacher. The body is not fragile, it is wise. It's trying to bring you back to yourself. Now, imagine your body as a great living scroll. On it, each mark, each ache, each illness is a letter of a language only your soul knows. And the more you read, the more you reconnect, because sometimes disease is the soul's most urgent cry, to wake you up to the life you are not yet living. Chapter 9, The Cycles of Nature and the Body, Healing Through the Right Season. The wisdom of Chinese medicine wasn't born in laboratories. It was born by watching the sky, the plants, the moon's rhythm, the rivers, the harvests. It understands that human beings are not separate from nature. They are nature. That's why the body follows the same seasonal rhythms that shape the world outside. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Each carries a specific energy, a sacred invitation, a lesson, a rhythm that when honored brings health, but when ignored, exacts a price. Spring is the season of wood, the energy of the liver. a time to blossom, to start projects, to renew. It's the perfect moment to detox, cleanse the body, and reorganize the mind. Green foods, sprouts, natural juices, and movement are allies. But it's also the time to release pent-up anger and let energy flow freely again. Summer is the realm of fire, the season of the heart, a time to shine, to expand, to laugh, to love. It's when energy reaches its peak. But it's also easy to get lost in overactivity, sleepless nights, emotional extremes. The body needs cooling and lightness, fruits, fresh foods, mindful breathing, moments of silence even amid the heat, and above all the care for your sleep, because fire cannot burn without rest. The middle of the year, the transition between seasons, belongs to the earth, to the spleen. It's a time of centering, assimilation, digestion, and balance, a moment to return home to your own axis, to reorganize routines, nurture your body, sleep well, and embrace simplicity. Soups, grains, root vegetables, emotional warmth and self-care are essential during this phase. Autumn arrives with the breath of metal, lungs, skin, sadness. It's the season of letting go, of emotional cleansing, of deep breathing. A time to organize, release excess, care for immunity, and accept what must be left behind. White foods, warm teas, steam baths, introspective practices. Everything that prepares the body for inner retreat. And then comes winter, deep and silent. Like the kidneys, the season of water, of ancestral energy, of full pause. Life withdraws, and the body must do the same. Sleep more, eat warm meals, move less, stay quiet. Warm your feet. Avoid intense activity. Winter is not for planting, it's for storing energy, so you can bloom later. Those who respect their inner winter rise strong in spring. But in the modern world, most people live in eternal summer, producing non-stop, skipping meals, sleeping too little, never resting, never listening. And that's why the body breaks, because it needs cycles, it needs rhythms, it needs time. Chinese medicine teaches, live as the earth lives. Eat seasonal foods, sleep with the setting sun, work with intensity in summer, with softness in winter, meditate more in autumn, create more in spring, withdraw more in winter, because healing is not just about what you do, but also when you do it. Now, close your eyes and ask yourself, which season am I living internally? Maybe your body is asking for stillness, but you're pushing yourself to produce. Maybe your soul longs to bloom, but fear still holds you in winter. And that's okay. The first step is to recognize. The second is to respect. You don't have to change everything overnight, but you can start adjusting your rhythms, your nourishment, your awareness, and soon your body will begin to respond because it feels, it knows, and it blooms when you live in the right time. Chapter 10, The Return to Flow, Daily Rituals of Natural Healing. After walking through the elements, the organs, the emotions, the meridians, and the seasons, it's time to come home. But not to a house made of bricks and walls. To the real home, the one that lives within. Chinese medicine was never meant to be a distant, technical, complicated knowledge. It was created to be lived, to be felt in the body, to be applied with simplicity. Because healing, according to this wisdom, doesn't happen in one day. It happens every day, one small act at a time. You don't need to change your whole routine. You don't need to memorize the names of acupuncture points. What you need is to create small rituals of reconnection, moments when you stop, breathe, listen, and treat yourself like a sacred temple. Below, you'll discover simple and powerful rituals inspired by the ancient wisdom of Chinese medicine. Rituals that can fit into your life and that will help the qi flow through you again. Upon waking, before getting out of bed, place your hands over your abdomen. Feel your breath. Thank your body for being alive. Then, drink a glass of warm water with a few drops of lemon. It awakens the stomach, activates the liver, and clears the toxins accumulated overnight. Throughout the day, practice lung breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose until the air reaches your lower belly. Hold for 3 seconds. Exhale gently through your mouth as if sighing relief. Do this 3 times whenever you feel tension, fatigue, or anxiety. Before meals, close your eyes for 10 seconds. Give thanks for the food. Visualize it turning into light inside your body. Chew slowly. Avoid eating while standing, rushing, or distracted. The spleen needs presence to transform food into energy. In moments of emotional overload, place one hand over your heart and the other over your belly button. Breathe deeply. Say to yourself, I am safe now. I am here. My body is my home. Repeat as many times as needed. This calms the Shen, heart spirit, and your nervous system. For the liver and stagnant emotions, walk. Move your body. Stretch. Gently tap your sides at the waist level with closed fists to unblock the liver meridian. And write. Let out what was left unsaid. Then tear or burn the paper with intention as a symbolic release. For the kidneys and fear, warm your feet before bed. Use a hot water basin with coarse salt or a heating pad. Softly touch your lower back with warm hands. Close your eyes and imagine a spring of dark, clear water flowing inside you, bringing strength and rest. Before sleep, turn off the lights, breathe slowly, play soft music and listen to your body. If it hurt today, ask for forgiveness. If it carried you, give thanks. If it fell ill, embrace it. You don't need to fully understand it yet. You just need to honor it. And slowly, it will begin to heal. These rituals are seeds. You can choose one per day. Repeat the ones that touch your heart. Create your own. The most important thing is to remember, your body is sacred, and it responds the moment you begin to treat it that way. There is no miraculous cure, but there is a miracle in the everyday. And that miracle happens when you choose to return to the flow, return to your inner listening, return to your sacred temple, return to yourself. And perhaps this is what this book was trying to remind you all along. You are not broken. You were just disconnected, but now the path is open again. This was the hidden book of Chinese medicine, the ancestral codex of natural healing. May the words that pass through you awaken what was once asleep, and may the flow forever return.